Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with you on the 2nd of March, 2023. I'm joined today with psychic medium and remote viewer, Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you. Okay. Spring is here. Spring is here. I love the warm weather. I'm so happy. The blossoms are out on the trees. The flowers are starting to bloom. The air is fresh. We can go outside. I love it. So, yes, good morning.
Okay, so this is a bit of a taster or teaser video. We're about halfway through a bunch of astrological transit charts in combination with Liz's remote viewing of the same subject. So yesterday we did BlackRock, we did Brexit, we did Bitcoin, we did the US dollar, we did the Dow Jones, we did Ethereum, we did Exxon Mobil, we did gold on the COMEX, and we did Halliburton as well. And we've got another bunch of about 10, I think, or 9 or 10 to do today. These are all available exclusively to our Patreon subscribers, aren't they, Liz?
They are. And you know what? All of the charts that we put out last month, for the most part, were very accurate. So what they're essentially getting is they're getting 2 readings, okay, for that month. So you're getting, first of all, the way we do it, and we will post a sample video, but the way we do it is I do a remote view first. Mr. Shakespeare, I'm using a target that is, benign. It's not emotionally involved in any way, shape, or form as to, the outcome of whatever it is we're probing. That's very important in a remote viewing session, by the way, is making sure your target is as benign as possible. That's how you're going to get the most accurate information. So I'm giving my predictions. I'm saying where the high points are, where the low points are, where, it's flat. And I'm also giving in like how it feels, what I'm pulling from the target. So say, for example, gold. I probed, what did I probe for gold yesterday, Mr. Shakespeare?
Remember,
we did so many charts yesterday.
So many. Hold on. I think. Yeah. Okay. One of the things that you got that you said there would be a dip. There would be a dip about the end of second or third week or something. Mm-hmm. And in the transit charts that I put up on screen after you've done this probe, bear in mind, everybody, that Liz does not see any of these transit charts or anything. She has no prior knowledge. I don't tell her anything about any of this stuff. She has to do her remote viewing prediction before I show the chart. Anyway, I showed the chart yesterday in the video, and sure enough, there was some negative transits going on around the 19th, 21, something like that. So more into the end of the third week, not so much the second, but there was the chart showed a definite dip in energy. Now, whether that completely correlates to price, well, only time will tell, but we have been doing quite well with these. They're not 100% accurate. One of the things that we're trying to do is to get the remote viewing and the astro charts lined up as much as we can. Because then these are a good extra prediction tool as well. That's what we're thinking.
Yes, and the thing is, you're looking for an alignment, right? So when you're trying to assess your moves for the month of March, right? You should have multiple sources of information, right? Let me tell you how the bigwigs do it. The big wigs check lots of TA. They check a few psychics that are doing, you know, what I do here. And then they're checking astrology. When all of this stuff looks like it's in alignment, that's when they do an actionable move or an actionable trade or whatever it is they want to do, an actionable investment. So with what we're doing, you're actually getting 2 readings per video, per chart. So like Mr. Shakespeare said, we know from last month that mostly these were accurate. Okay, so we're looking for an alignment. So an alignment in what I'm picking up with the remote viewing, and then Mr. Shakespeare shows his chart, and then we can find alignments within the remote view and the chart, and that is more actionable. Okay, now a lot of stuff we got completely right last month, and that was our first month trying it out, and I'm impressed how well we did. And so like yesterday, we did BlackRock stock, we did Brexit, we did Bitcoin, we did US dollar, we did Dow Jones, we did Ethereum, we did ExxonMobil, we did gold, we did Halliburton. And then for today, we have, I don't know how many more that we're doing. So this is a regular monthly feature. We're only going to go out by a month. Why? Because the closer you are to the energy, the more accurate it is going to be. But if you definitely want some psychic and remote viewing and astrological insights as to what is going to come for the month, we're going to get this stuff out on the 1st and 2nd of every month. And this is definitely going to give you some indication. What else is good about this is we're looking for crashes, okay? That's where people that follow psychics often have complaints. And the reason they have complaints is most psychics don't see the crash. They may feel the crash and they can give you something with an indefinite timeline. Oh, yeah, there's a crash coming. I could say right now, oh, yeah, there's a crash coming. But I'm not going to put a time limit on it. So I won't be wrong. 2 years from now, there may be a crash, or 5 years from now, there may be a crash, but I'm never going to be wrong, am I? Because I'm not putting a time limit on it. But as we're going month by month and we're looking into each thing in detail. And the other thing is you'll start to see a pattern amongst all these videos. So we've already picked up a trend on the stock market. It looks like everything's up at this time and everything's going down at this time. With the crypto market, everything seems to be going up at this time. Everything seems to be going down. With gold, you know, same thing. And gold is going to be your indication of whether, you know, if there's a massive crash in the stock market and we see this massive spike in gold, right? Well, you can tell people are moving their money out of the stock market or crypto or wherever, and they're going to gold. So all of these charts are extremely beneficial. And if you want access to these charts, you will need to join the Patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Listen, it's $3.50 per week. Okay. If you can't afford $3.50 per week to get this information, you don't need to be trading. You really don't. Anyway, it's so cheap. So anything you want to add, Mr. Shakespeare, to this?
No, I think you've covered most of it. The astrological charts, by the way, are transits affecting the natal data or of the subject matters or the date of the first trades in, you know, where we come to corporations and things like that. So we're looking at corporations, we're looking at different cryptos. So long as we have the accurate natal data, then, you know, then these transit charts have some validity. If we have the wrong chart, if we have the wrong natal data, for example, if I was doing somebody's chart and they gave me their wrong date of birth, their wrong place of birth, their wrong time of birth, well, then the information would come back wrong. So we're doing our best to find good natal data for certain things, and in anything that's on stock market, we're using the date of the first trade because we're looking at these as tradable commodities. Okay, one last thing I got to say, I've finally relented to I'm going to say overwhelming pressure, but it hasn't been overwhelming. But I've had quite a few people over the time saying, why can't we send you a tip, Mr. Shakespeare? Why can't you blah, blah? And I've not really got involved in any of that. But anyway, so I've decided that you can send me a tip, but of course you can only send it in cryptos. So I only accept cryptos. So there will be from now on Bitcoin, an ERC20, Ethereum, and a Ripple address that if anybody wants to send me a tip, that's very much appreciated. Thank you.
And what will you do with all the money, Mr. Shakespeare? Do tell us.
Well, I will probably convert it into hex.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
And I will probably put it into a stake. And then I will do something good with the money. I don't want the money for myself. So there are various charities and animal things that I like to support. So I will probably invest the money, in stakes or things like that for them. This is not, although you're tipping me, I'm not going to keep the money for myself. So I'm going to do something.
I think you should. I think you should treat yourself to a cream tea.
Well, maybe I'll treat myself to a cream tea, but this is for something that, I think it could be. I don't really want to get involved in at the moment. Things might change later on down the line and stuff. But for now, I'm gonna, there's various animal charities that I like to donate to. So it would be good. I will not donate to them straight away. I'll put it into a hex. Into a stake. I'll stake it for a period of time, and then cash it out, and then send them, convert it into fiat, and then send them the money. That to me would be really good.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. You work hard on all these charts, and if people, and they do request your tip chart. That's true. Or how to get in touch with you. We're going to be making some upgrades to the Psychic Liz Cross website. I'm going to have contact forms where you can contact Mr. Shakespeare if you want him to do like a natal chart for you, for you, a birthday, your birthday, but you will need you'll need your birthday, your time of birth, and
birth date. Yeah, birth time, and place of birth. Place of birth is very important. Birth date is very important, and time can be very important. It depends. I've seen this in the past where, normally what people do is if they don't know the time of birth, they put 12 noon down. That's a sort of a universal thing that people do. And I've done test charts where, I've put 12 noon down and done 8 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, and it's made no difference to the chart. And yet I've done other charts where I put 12 noon down and 10 past 12, and it makes a difference. So where possible, you need to know your time of birth and also what time zone and everything. I believe Liz can, maybe on a reading or something, she might be able to probe and get your time of birth if you don't know how to do it. If you have a reading with Liz, that might be a question that you just would like to ask her anyway, because I know you've done it for a couple of people.
Yeah, that's true. And it may not be the exact time.
No.
It may, but it's as close as possible.
No, I mean, if somebody knows their exact time because, their parents wrote it, and things like that, or however it was recorded, that is the best way because, they were Johnny on the spot, so to speak. So, they were there at your time of birth. So if you have that data, that is the best data of all, when just going back to cryptos a minute, we had to, if you remember, we probed out and we got, the date and the time and the place for Bitcoin. you know, and although California had been mentioned before, and I did have a chart with California, I certainly didn't have the place and time that came out of that reading. So that, and that has changed the Bitcoin chart. So, you know, this stuff is very important. But all we're doing here is transits. So how the transits affect your natal chart. So they're either positive, i.e. beneficial, i.e. benefic, or they're not so good. They can be in a negative sort of way, so which is shown as green on red on these charts. And also, to the other thing to bear in mind is the numbers on the side. If you're, you know, if it's red and it's only like -1, -2, so what? Yeah. If it's, you know, +50 or +70, that's really good. You know,
I would love a +50, please. Thank you. I need a +50 in my life. Oh my gosh. Well, if you want to know what we're talking about, you'll have to join the Patreon. You can see the charts for yourself. Well, thank you, Mr. Shakespeare. Thank you. And I look so forward to all the videos we're about to make. We're going to do 10 today. Included in that are what? Tesla. What else is included?
You want the list? Okay. So we're doing Microsoft, we're doing Tesla, we're doing Theta, we're doing the S&P 500, we're doing silver on the COMEX, the Russia-Ukraine SMO, we're doing New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and HEX.
Wow. And
HEX
these
is actually in the list. It's first, because that was supposed to have been done yesterday, but we were time, so that's actually first.
Oh, you don't surprise me, Mr. Shakespeare. You don't.
Well, it was last. It was actually last
on the list.
Yesterday. It was last on the list yesterday. To be fair, but we got a bit tired at the end of it.
Oh, that's okay. Well, and these are going to be regular monthly features. So every first and second day of the month, we will release approximately 20 charts. And
well, it could actually get even higher than that, Liz, because I'm sure that people, you know, I do have a lot more natal data on corporations, so I've just got to work out which ones are sort of valid and why we would do them. There's no point just doing a corporation for the sake of it, but you know, like yesterday we did Exxon and Halliburton because they're involved in the oil trade, and oil and energy are very important at the moment. So
great. Well, thank you very much. And I look forward to it. So thank you.